tip is the use of Google Slides and Microsoft PowerPoint to add captioning in your presentations, in your classes, in your department meetings. This is an option that could be used certainly when you're presenting from a slideshow in either of these tools. But in this quick tip, I want to specifically show you how you can use just one slide, as you can see in my Google Slides example here, as just a foundation through which you can get transcription of what you're saying, which could be of benefit to folks in your audience who aren't able to access the spoken words that are coming across via their audio system. So to do this in Google Slides, you need to be in Chrome. So for both examples, I'll be in Chrome. The kind of two requirements for one for each tool. If you're going to do this in Google Slides, you need to be in Chrome. If you're going to do this in PowerPoint, you need to be in the web version. So I'll start off here in Chrome, and then I'm going to stay there because I need to go over to the web version of PowerPoint. This will not work in Firefox or Safari on the Chrome side, or sorry, on the Google Slides side. But if you do need to use those other browsers, the PowerPoint option will work. So as you can see here, I have an example of, let's say I was having a staff meeting, and if this was in person, I could have this up while I'm speaking. If this was in Zoom, I could share my screen, and now everybody's able to watch, and they'll be able to see the closed captioning appear at the bottom of the screen as I speak. So the closed captioning won't be coming out of Zoom, it'll be being produced by either Google Slides or PowerPoint. Now let's see that in action. So I have my slideshow set up, I go up to present, then I come down to the bottom and I click captions. When I do that, I get the words start appearing underneath my slideshow. So at this point, if this was just an update to staff, 20-minute thing, I would just leave it on this slide and speak my piece. And then by the end, folks would have been able to see these written words. If this was in Zoom, I could be recording it so that the text is visible if someone re-watches, and certainly the audio is being captured as well. So it just kind of hums along down there at the bottom. Let's see the same process take place in PowerPoint. Online version of PowerPoint, you can get to it from your email via the waffle, or just go to office.com and sign in with your district credentials. Then you'll open up PowerPoint, make your slide. Maybe you already have it like I do. And you can see that here's my presentation. I'm going to head over to Slideshow and set it up first. I have a button here that says always use subtitles. The PowerPoint one's exceptionally interesting because I can actually have it write or receive different languages than English. The Google one was just English, but you can see here I've got a handful of different languages that I can have it speak, that I can speak into it. And then I have many languages that it can write out. So I'll leave this as English and English. I want to make sure that this always use subtitles is darkened, which means I've selected it. And then whether I go up here to present or I do from beginning or from current slide, it's all going to get me to the same place. But I'm going to go ahead and hit present. It might ask if if it can use my mic. And of course, I would allow that. And now you can see as I'm speaking, that text is going to appear at the bottom. So just like in the Google example, I go through my meeting, I'm speaking out my instructions, or we're having a conversation. Maybe if this is in Zoom, someone types a question into the chat box in Zoom, and I, as the presenter, would look at that, maybe read the question out loud to the group, and then answer it. Just try to get in those good habits of accessibility and digital meeting, standards. That way it kind of spares you from having to save the chat transcript and make it available, although you could do that too. So I know you might see this and think, okay, well, this is great for, a short conversational meeting or an informational thing. But what about when you want to present? And it's also useful if you're going to be moving through a slideshow. If there was more slides here, I could just tap through and be having the text. But so many times we want to show a particular website or PDF, and to try to get that all embedded in a slideshow might be a lot of work. So what we can do with a little bit of browser acrobatics is get our slideshow to appear behind what we want to present, and if we stack them properly, we'll be able to see the closed captioning underneath what we are trying to present. I'll show you what that looks like. So here you can see I've got my presentation going. And if you look up at the top of my screen, you can see I've got another web browser window. So it's not tabs, it's fully separate windows. These are sitting on my desktop. And I've arranged things so that here I'll click on the North Shore website. And here I'll move this around so you can see the example. But there's the slideshow behind. And if I kind of pulled the slideshow down a little bit, now the website can sit above it. And in the case of this one, I think I arranged this perfectly for Google Slides. But here, if I bring this up just a bit, now I can see everything in PowerPoint. So this looks like it's Zoom doing it, right? Or it's QuickTime doing it, or somehow it's built into my Mac OS. But it's really just I have one window stacked on top of the other. So now I could go through here and I could say, oh, well, we've added something to our Common Core page and take you through that. And you can see that those notes down at the bottom, that transcript, it's still doing its thing, pulling my text across. And if I'm good about how I stack that, I can make sure that I'm providing pretty clear captions across it. So that's really it. It's a good one to test out ahead of time. If you join a Zoom meeting with one of your colleagues, or just on a phone or a mobile device, you could join without an account to a meeting that's being hosted by you, and give it a shot. You should be able to get these layered up well. You'll have to check your recording settings, check your display settings in Zoom to make sure that it all comes out the way you want. But this can be a really nice way to avoid the Zoom solution of closed captioning, which is either somebody types it as someone speaks or paying for a third-party integration. So there you go. That's using Google Slides and PowerPoint Online's closed captioning to add text-based closed captioning to your presentations. Thank you.